Hello, everybody. Welcome to Peaches and Power Bones slash Roundtable Rumble, whatever you want to call this thing. We'll just go by with it. We have some very exciting guests with us today. We are happy to have for a little bit of Night of Champions prediction show. So if you are here, come on in, leave a comment, join the conversation. We love feedback, so let us know that you are here. And Geek, we'll start with you, and then we can just kind of go around and introduce ourselves and that kind of thing.
So you want me to choose my podcast on what I'm representing, or
Whichever.
yeah? So I am Metal Geek. I host a podcast called Geeking Out with Metal Geek, where I interview bands, wrestlers, like talk geek culture and much more different stuff. So you know,
Awesome. Walsh, you got anything to plug?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. One half of the greatest podcasting tag team champions of the world from TRWC. From our tailgate party, it is CM Walsh. Bada boom, bang bang. I'm back. What else can I say? I am CM Walsh for a reason. What more do you want me to add?
I know, right? CM Wash, Majestic, together again, finally under the same roof. It's a miraculous moment.
I know Alora is awestruck that she's back with her number one bestie. I'm sorry, but it's true.
It's all good. It's all good.
So, Alora, we have Night of Champions. Is there anything that you want to talk about before we get started with the show?
Offhand, not really. I'm sorry I missed last week. But hopefully things are back on track and we continue to roll on. And I will be talking about the show that took SmackDown took place this past Friday. They did a double episode. They basically taped the whole thing, but I'll get into all that shortly.
So how the show was good overall? I know you were there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, let me preface this by saying we had no idea this was going to be two shows. We probably should have known, but
Yeah.
consider Night of Champions is on a Saturday and they got to go to Saudi Arabia. Um, so on the ticket it says 6:45, and of course we had quite a drive, and a lot of people were late to the show. I know my GPS messed up when I was changing interstates, and then the GPS led everybody down a back alley road, and instead of normal people that would block the alleyway off, you turned in the alleyway and the cops were at the end, and they made you pull in this parking lot, back up, and go back out. And I'm like, who does this? So anyway, a lot of people were late because of stuff like that, but nevertheless we got there. When we got there, it was like Asuka versus Selena Vega, and I'm like, and I haven't been to a WWE show since 2018, so I was just like, I don't know if they still do main event or not, but if they are, I don't think Asuka would be on there, much less facing Selena Vega right now. So but anyways, it was all chopped up. Basically they were taping stuff, and I guess they were putting half of it on Friday, this past Friday, and then they had the other half for the next Friday. So it was really confusing. I want to say I did attend a show before where they kind of did a double episode, and it was just it was nothing like this time. It was very very off, and it turned out that they started at 6:45 with SmackDown and basically just saved it for 8 o'clock. So I missed the whole Roman thing. Acknowledge me. I didn't get to scream my head off like I wanted to and act a fool. I was mad about that, and I didn't find out about that till after the show. That made me really mad. But I did get to see him. I did get to scream my head off. Not like I wanted, but I got to scream my head off, and I embarrassed my nephew. So all in all, that was good. But
Hey, that's in the contract to embarrass the nephew.
yeah, oh yeah, we're at that stage now. Like embarrassment.
I think the
So-
thing is though with SmackDown, and I've noticed this certainly in the last. I'm saying with Raw as well, and this is one of my first of many hot takes tonight. It just doesn't scream enthralling television. Like when you look back
Thank
to
you.
the run up to WrestleMania, everyone wanted to watch Sami Zayn. Everyone wanted to watch Kevin Owens and see the journey. Now post Mania, post draft, I'm just not. I'm watching the reviews instead of the show. I'm not engaged. And don't get me wrong, we're 4 or 5 weeks out from Money in the Bank, which I'm going to, by the way. Stay tuned for
Yay!
content on that in
Yeah.
June, which I'm and I'm always going to be addicted to that. But give me something. Give me something to invest in. And yes, I'm going to SmackDown the O2 the night before, but excite me. Give me something. And I think Night of Champions just stinks of. It's not giving me anything where I can go, this is as white hot as Backlash. It says a really big problem with WWE when Bad Bunny was more exciting than about half, 2/3 of the roster. That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. From where we were at WrestleMania and Backlash to now in Saudi Arabia, which has its own problems. That's alarming.
I feel like right now we're kind of at a plateau. I mean, I see little things building up, to which, in case anyone, spoiler alert, if nobody has seen the tape part of SmackDown yet, they KO and Sami Zayn do an amazing promo with the Usos, and that's going to air this week.
Mhm.
That was really good. So, or if you're friends with me on Facebook and you probably heard that promo, sorry,
but they've been doing promos with them for weeks.
yeah,
Since the Raw after Mania, they've been going back and forth, and it's like, but they're not even fighting them at. Like, it doesn't even yes, there may be dissension if we see a title change, which I doubt that we will.
yeah, that's what I'm
But-
saying. That promo causes further dissension and further tension, but yeah, but you're right though. I mean, everything just feels at a plateau right now for me.
It doesn't help that their rules that they set up for the draft are already thrown to the wayside because you have the Usos and Paul Heyman and the like showing up on Monday Night Raw when they were drafted to SmackDown and they're not supposed to be there. I'm like, okay,
Bit like
wait a
the
minute.
Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair still being on SmackDown, and
Yeah,
they've done
right.
nothing about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, they're acting like it's normal and they're whistling through the whistling through the
It's all
fire.
right.
I
We make
guess.
our money. They don't care. Just do it.
I mean,
I
I
was-
don't want.
Think, geek.
What's
Yeah,
up?
go ahead, Geek.
No, I'm sorry, I cut you off. I'm sorry about that.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
was.
I was just gonna say before we went live, I actually wanted to add that a certain AEW champion was actually at a local independent show this past weekend.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you saw. He was MJF actually was at Creative Pro this past weekend, and everyone thought maybe he'll just sign a couple autographs, and cut a quick promo, say something. He actually wrestled for 9 minutes in a match against Leo Sparrow.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
it wasn't just
MJF.
anybody.
The rat who gives back. Isn't that just so sweet?
He gives back to the school that trained him, which is
Okay. I
amazing.
didn't know
Yeah.
he trained there. I was like, why
Which
would
is-
he showed up there? That makes sense.
Yeah. So, and he gave back to a student in Leo Sparrow, which is absolutely amazing.
Awesome.
He's not that bad of a guy,
I'd be
but I
scared.
guess only in Long Island. What? Only in Long Island, he's not that bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's better
And
than
he-
you, and you know it, and that's what.
Yeah, he's better than everyone, and he knows it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's right.
We're gonna get to some comments right quick. Yes, we got Ray all day here. How you doing? Adam Cole is king. We gotta do
What's
it
up,
just
Ray?
for you. Where are you? Got it.
Oh, and the chat bot is from you, Geek. So if you don't mind blocking that.
What? Oh, the bot tricks. That I know. That's my that's my bot right there.
Oh, okay, that's you. Okay.
That's me. That's me. Yeah. So
Okay, awesome. Just
Yeah.
making
And
sure
he
that
also
there's
says the hat.
no,
is
it's no
stronger
spam.
than
Don't worry,
orange.
it's not spam. That's set up by me. That's on mine. That's mine.
okay. We're good then.
Yeah.
The hat, yes, the hat is stronger than Orange Cassidy. I don't know. Orange Cassidy is kind of the Roman Reigns of AEW. He beats everybody left and right. He's about to beat 20 people all at once.
Oh, with that, it's he's going to be over like what I so want to
from
get Orange
HBT
Cassidy versus
from-
Will Ospreay in London. I
Oh.
want it to be true. It's going to be hotter than Bulldog versus Bret Hart, right? It's
Right.
just going to be so dumb and so beautiful. It's
HBT from the Straight Up Wrestling Show. What's going on, podcast peeps? Go ahead and check them out whenever you can. Thank you for coming on, and yeah. So
Are y'all ready to talk about Night of Champions?
yeah,
Let's do
yes,
this.
yes.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do this!
All right,
Love
first
Cowboy
up, we have and Strava's on his way, by the way.
Oh, okay, good.
We have the SmackDown Women's Championship. We'll talk about this first with Rhea Ripley versus Natalya. To me, this match just feels like they're throwing something on the card to have Rhea Ripley wrestle. There's nothing intriguing about this. No one really cares about this. It's just to have a match.
I agree, and I love Natty. I think Natty would be a great opponent for Rhea. Yeah, I feel the same
2015
though. I just wish it was
Natalya.
more build up.
2015 Natalya would have been a great opponent for today, Rhea Ripley, but it's 2023 Natalya. Like I have nothing much else to add other than she is a female jobber at this point, and I can't remember the last time she did anything of major significance. She had the I'm the
Against Charlotte.
best women's. I mean, as if she posed a real threat to Charlotte at that point. Really, it's sad because she is a Neidhart and people forget that.
Right.
That she could be so much more, but what can you do? Like it's embarrassing and shameful that we are in a world that Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey are sat right there and doing absolutely nothing, when those two any day of the week would give Rhea Ripley a run for her money if they were given the right book and the right side of the pencil. Whereas Natalya is just what could they be doing with Natalya that makes it engaging, interesting? Considering this, this match is on Monday Night Raw, but it's I don't know. It's just going to be another excuse for Rhea Ripley to get another win on the column, isn't it? So.
And I'm okay with Rhea Ripley like racking up the wins and looking like a dominance in the women's division. That's all fine and good. But I feel sorry for Natalya because she's been there for so long. She's always a team player. She works with whatever it is that they try to give her. They throw her in so many different tag teams. You don't know what's going on with her half the time. Like 1 week she's tagging with, I don't know, Liv Morgan or somebody, and then the next week she's not, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I just wonder why like her and Tamina were the tag team champions like a couple years ago, and then like they lost them, and then they just fell away and you never heard about them tagging together. There was like no like on-screen breakup or anything like that. It was crazy. I was like, okay, what happened to that?
you make a point about you're happy that Rhea Ripley's getting all these wins up and racking them up. I mean, let's compare this to Jade Cargill. Like, at least when Cargill's racking up her 60-0, she is being put with people who are challengers, who are people who you could credibly say she could be beaten at any given night.
Mhm.
Natalia is just not somebody you can turn around and say, actually, I see her as a SmackDown Women's Champion. Like, but you can't. It's not 2017. It's not the original brand split anymore. It's not the same Natalia anymore, and it's
Right.
frustrating.
Well, Jade really hasn't had a real contender either, to be honest. I mean, the closest that we've gotten so far is Taya Valkyrie, and I think they're going to try again. I think they're doing a rematch. Is it
Double or
tomorrow,
nothing, I think.
or is it double or
Who's
nothing?
gonna
It's
beat
one of the two.
Who's going to beat Jade? That's the question.
Yeah, that's the big question.
I honestly
Well,
think.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I honestly think they should have Taya Valkyrie beat her and then bring up Jade to the what's going on Dynamite.
Yeah, they had Athena. She was a logical contender too. I really thought Athena was gonna break the streak, and that didn't happen. But Athena has moved on to bigger and better things with Ring of Honor right now. So, I mean, there's been various people going to Jade challenge Jade Cargill, and but so far she's just found a way to uphold it. So, what I was gonna say with Natty too is props to her, because I've been reading a lot of how she's been offering her time and her home to train the NXT female wrestlers, basically any of the female wrestlers that kind of want to get better and get more well-rounded. They've been turning to her. Some of them, including BFAB from Hit Row. She said that she's been spending time with Natalia. There's been some others, I can't think of them just right this second, but if anything else, I'm glad that she's offering a hand to the current talent, regardless. But I'm like the rest of y'all. I really wish they would have did more with her. I feel like they could have capitalized on so much with her, and they just didn't. It's just, it makes me mad. I'm just like, why?
Yeah. So we're going to agree Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So-
Without a shadow of a doubt. All right. We don't really have any comments except for Harry being silly. Next up on our list, we have the Intercontinental Championship. They had a battle royal, I think, last week, with Mustafa Ali winning that battle royal, and he is now challenging Gunther at this pay-per-view for the IC title. This is another thing of just like, okay, this is something for Gunther to capitalize on, and for Mustafa Ali to be on the card too, since he's Middle Eastern, I'm guessing.
The thing is with Gunther, we all laughed when the name change happened, and we all joked and we all had a little giggle. But he's still Intercontinental Champion. He brought back Imperium. He's had 5-star matches, and nobody's still laughing, and he's still as strong as ever. And quite frankly, and you're like the sound of this, Marie, we're just waiting for Gunther versus Brock Lesnar to be finally made a thing and give us
that
all
is
the beef.
match of dreams.
That is the match of dreams, because frankly, keeping Gunther this strong with the Intercontinental belt has been astonishing, astounding. From a belt that would never be defended and would be completely forgotten about, to the reign. I think, has he eclipsed the Honky Tonk Man yet? Or is he about to?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, there you go. That is Gunther. That's the defense he's had. Those are the matches that he's had. He's extraordinary, and he gets a good match out of everybody. The man is unstoppable, and the day he drops the titles, the day he goes for the world titles. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And I think Mustafa Ali will give him a fight, but he'll certainly put on at least a 4.5 star match, guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
And the Saudi fans will eat this one up. It's going to be it's going to be one of the matches of the night.
Yeah, I think when it comes to Mustafa Ali, you know, a lot of people are rooting for him. He's had quite the journey, and he has proven in the past that he can, you know, if you give him the ball, he'll run with it. And I was really surprised that they let him win this battle royal. I'm happy for him. I'm like you, Wash. Him and Gunther is probably going to be one of those hidden gems, and it's going to be a surprise. And yeah, Gunther to me so far is MVP of 2023. There is absolutely no question about it thus far, and I'm really glad that they're giving him that focus, the focus of the Intercontinental Championship. It was way long overdue. And
You met.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say you mentioned Gunther versus Brock. Do we get lazy Brock or do we get 2003 Brock?
I think Brock would be up for it. I think
we'll get 2023 Brock. There has not been lazy Brock this year at all. He's had a match on every single pay-per-view this year. There's not lazy Brock.
You know what I mean? The match he had with Moxley, that's the lazy Brock I was talking about. Oh, like I'm just gonna throw him around.
That really wasn't on. That wasn't all the way on Brock though. Mox was.
Yeah, Moxley was part of that. I'll give him that. But yeah. I think Brock Lesnar will bite for that, especially if they give him Money in the Bank or SummerSlam to do it, because there is. I don't think there's any soul that would say that they wouldn't want to fight Brock Lesnar. I wouldn't want to fight Gunther at any point, title or non-title. And you know, I think they very nearly had the opportunity of pulling the US title trigger with Brock Lesnar, which I think would have been a fantastic story to tell. Maybe the Intercontinental is one that they can still streamline into, but yeah.
Think about what that would do for the Intercontinental Championship to have Brock freaking Lesnar challenge for it. Now, I'm not saying he needs to win it, but to have him challenge for
imagine
that.
If he won it though. Imagine the rub that we passed on, and the lineage would still be as strong as ever. That's a no-brainer.
I mean, I would love it. I would be so excited for that. No, I wouldn't be able to sit down if that happened. We're getting to you in a minute, little Miss Laura. I don't want to hear a word.
It's like Chris Jericho winning the Ring of Honor title. That's how great it is. You know? I saw that live.
Harry is on YouTube now, and he says Mustafa Ali is going to take a beating. His heart will keep him in it though. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, he'll have that classic babyface showing.
And don't get me wrong, I think a lot of people have looked away from the fact he is a good wrestler and a good character. I mean, you talked about Mustafa Ali before. I think people have completely forgotten he had Retribution right in his hands before they balls that one up. And I think the United States of Ali, that whole gimmick that was going to play out and then just died a death. There is a lot of room with him that, you know, if given the right chance, again, we're creative. Hello, Vince McMahon and your little moustache. That given the opportunity would be a great character to see grow and develop. But when you get against somebody who is strong and untouchable as Gunther, it's going to be a great match. But Gunther's going to walk away with it, no problem.
Yeah, the vast difference between the two styles and the two characters and the two people that are going to come face to face in this match is what's going to make it magical, because that contrast of style always usually breeds really good chemistry. So I'm looking forward to it. Okay, no comments. Yes, Gunther. I don't really. When I put, well, I guess we'll just go through it. we'll talk about it as we go. The next match that I have down is a non-title match, and we have Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. I thought it was a little too early for this. I thought that they were going to either stretch this out to Money in the Bank or SummerSlam,
SummerSlam.
but
They are most 100% definitely. Are they confirmed SummerSlam is in Canada?
No.
It's in
Canada?
Detroit.
Detroit.
Oh, of course it is. Obviously, Edge has said about wanting to retire in August
Yes.
in Canada. So they must be doing something up there soon, we would imagine. And I think Trish Stratus might be the same. But yeah, do you feel like this is the first match of many? I think Money in the Bank in London is going to be a hell of an atmosphere for Becky Lynch to drink in, considering she didn't get to experience that in Cardiff. So yeah, we'll see what unfolds with this one. But with Trish Stratus, is that she sort of came in obviously for the Becky match before WrestleMania, and then obviously they were chucked into the tag team title picture because what else were they going to do against Damage Control?
Right.
And I think obviously the nostalgia act has worn away. It's not the same fresh, exciting Trish Stratus that we got all those years ago, going against Mickie James and Lita and tearing up the headlines. But I don't know. I think this is maybe a Saudi ordered match, and that they do want the big name from the past to be able to place in there, and they can draw the attraction. But you can, this will either be a DQ or a very schmoz finish to allow them to build to the next one.
Right.
I agree with Sam Walsh to an extent. However, I'm really enjoying Trish as a heel this time around. Her and Becky going back and forth, talking back and forth at each other's been really ruthless. I've enjoyed it, and I really I think this is going to be a great match regardless. I hope we see it go into SummerSlam. And plus, Lita's going to eventually come back and get her lick back. When, we don't know. It could be at Money in Bank. It could be in Saudi Arabia. Could be Money in Bank. Could be SummerSlam. We don't know. But
then we're still really talking about Stratus and Lita in 2023, and let's be blunt here. We've just spoken about Rhea Ripley and Talia. Trish and Lita are tearing it up better than the Raw and SmackDown title pictures. How embarrassing is that? Is that how low the women's picture has got now? I mean, you've got Asuka right there, who had a massive regeneration in the Royal Rumble, and these two are still bigger than them. It's shameful. But I completely agree with you, Laura. Is that Trish talking about being barking like a dog in 2001? Damn, son.
Becky brought that up last night. It was amazing.
How many people did they have to go through to get that one signed off? Again, because that was a low of 2001, but the times were different then, and I think that's an interesting point, that Trish does represent a time back when pre-2004 women's wrestling was a very different picture to what it is now. And I think it's impressive of her to actually come back now and say, I want to be known as, yes, she was 8-time women's champion and she retired undefeated, and now she's proven her colors that all those years in the ring have been about her ability and not just about her figure, and for her just to have a set of breasts on her.
Geek.
I believe that Trish is winning this one just so they could get to the next match. I don't think this is a one and done deal. I think it's going to lead to a bigger picture either at Money in the Bank or SummerSlam. So that's just my opinion. But if I'm going to have to pick a winner, I'm going to pick Trish just to continue the story.
I'm going Becky DQ.
I'm going to go with Trish DQ. Timothy says hey, and Jamie Hayter is still the queen. Yeah, Timothy, I did, and yet again it was but I talked about it earlier. I'm pretty sure I'll mention something about it later on. But in this, Scott from the hashtag Truth Podcast, he says he's going with Becky for the win. So I think everybody's kind of a little.
Don't get me wrong. Again, as speaking as somebody who will be there, Becky versus Trish in London is going to be some atmosphere. Both Becky having the hometown crowd and Trish Stratus getting more of that nostalgia pop in London, especially at the O2 Arena. But putting it up in Saudi Arabia does smell like that they've offered them an X amount of money for the attraction.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a clean win at Night of Champions between either one. Is pretty much what's going to happen. I think that this does need to be stretched out to, either have the payoff at Money in the Bank or SummerSlam, one of those. I would like to see a long story between these two women, and maybe throw in. Strav.
What's up, y'all?
What's going on?
Hey,
I'm here.
Video games is. I'm just kidding.
Bro, I got stuck in a 2K tournament, and I was like, I'm not just losing. I've been winning all day, so I got to rock out. But I'm good now. We're good. And I won, so I'm cool. I'm happy.
Well, congratulations. So at the moment, we're really quick. We'll go through what we've already talked about. So give us your quick predictions for
Okay.
for Rhea Ripley versus Natalya.
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah. The IC title versus Gunther versus Mustafa Ali.
Gunther.
And then now we are talking about Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. So if you want to elaborate a little bit more on them, you can.
I don't know. This one I don't know. I want to say Becky, but I'm kind of thinking Trish. Maybe with help from someone who I don't know. Maybe they involve like Doudrop or somebody random like that they haven't, been working with. But I feel like Becky will get the bigger win at like SummerSlam.
That's an interesting take. You say adding someone in. What if that person, like they said, Lita has to be involved somewhere? What if it's Lita and the whole injury angle was just a ploy to get Trish in there?
Right.
Don't
That's
be
genius,
silly. It'll
actually.
be Eva Marie.
I forgot about Lita.
Eva Marie.
Do what?
Put your mortgage. It'll be Eva Marie, and then all
No.
of the female
Oh,
No.
No. Oh man.
that's what not to do.
Y'all wondered if it was going to happen tonight. It is.
Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Don't fight me!
No.
Yes.
Shush.
All right.
Shush, please.
And then Baron Corbin gets involved somewhere.
Oh,
Oh
Jesus.
gosh.
Let me put another question. We were talking about Becky and Trish, and we're
We'll
talking
say,
about
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Rhea and Natalya. Does Trish Stratus become another women's championship reign before she formally retires?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's hard to say. To me, I think it would have to be the right story, and I don't think it even should really matter, because Trish has done a lot, and and this feud with Becky now is it's just a dream match that everybody's clamoring to see. Does she have one more reign? It's probably the maybe so, maybe not. Personally, I think she looks great. She looks even better now than she did 20 years ago to me. but whether she has that time or whatever, I think there would be a lot of factors involved. And I mean, if she does, I think the story would have to be right. But if she doesn't, I think I'd be okay too.
I put this to you, Marie. We talked about the credibility of the SmackDown title. We'll come on to the Raw title in just a second. Is that surely having Trish Stratus having one more reign to her collection, surely that then puts her into a position where, you know, she's back in the fold. You know, Trish Stratus as champion gives us Rhea Ripley versus Trish at some point towards the end of the year. That then also potentially for fantasy booking then could be giving us Bianca Belair versus Trish Stratus. That those are matches that I want to see.
Oh,
Not against
heck
Natalia.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Rhea Ripley versus Trish at some point.
What about
Rhea
Io
Ripley and who?
versus-
So I posed the question of whether Trish Stratus should have another title reign to rejuvenate either the SmackDown or the Raw Women's Championships, where both brands and both women's rosters have not had credible and I guess in some regard a exciting roster to say, right, this is going to be a credible opponent to knock off either Rhea Ripley or Bianca Belair.
But then again,
yeah.
Trish would have to beat Rhea in order to get that title reign, and
But
I
that would be a
don't
good
want to
match.
see that
I-
either.
No.
I would
No.
pay to see that. I think Trish would give her the match. That should give her the match to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the match itself, just having the match and then, you know, Rhea going over on her, that's fine. That would be really interesting to see, actually.
What do y'all
All
think
right.
they're gonna do with the titles? As far as like, because technically the Raw Women's Champions on SmackDown and the SmackDown Women's Champions on Raw. So like, do you think they're gonna give them new titles or
They're going to
I
bury
don't
them.
swap?
know.
I don't think they're gonna
I-
swap again. Like that was dumb
They're
last
going to bury
time.
them in the
So.
sand, or they're going to chuck them in the Hudson River. It's going to be stupid at some point. They're going to they're going to run out of time and have to give us a solution which ticks all boxes. But it's ridiculous.
They need to just rename the women's titles to like WWE Women's Universal Champion and
And World.
WWE Women's Champion
Fox
and just be done with
Championship.
it.
There you go.
Endeavor
Women-
Championship.
Yeah.
I feel like that they should do Women's World and Women's Universal.
Something to where
should
it
start,
doesn't
like, you know-
matter.
Undisputed Women's Champion. There you go. All right.
Uh,
Who is it going to be? And Charlotte Flair is probably going to be that
Oh,
number
Jesus.
one.
Eva
I wouldn't put
Marie.
that past them at all.
Charlotte Flair.
5 years from now, we'll be talking about the undisputed women's world champion Eva Marie, and I'm here for it.
oh.
No, it's going to be Charlotte Flair. We all know it.
Scott says Trish will certainly get a lot of heat as a champion with the whole "thank you, Trish."
Because Charlotte is the greatest women's wrestler of all time. She needs to be the undisputed women's champion.
Yes, there we go. That was perfect.
Huge-
Queued up. I love it. Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
this is going to be fun, okay? Because I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this. I'm gonna let everybody else talk before I do. The tag
Oh.
team, the Universal Undisputed Raw SmackDown Somebody Tag Team Championships with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa.
Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Don't fight me!
Oh, we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight.
Everyone's gonna hate my answer right now.
Stroud, we're gonna start with you.
I'm saying Sammy and KO. The Usos are gonna cost Roman and Solo the match. Roman's gonna get his first pin, and Sammy's gonna be the one to pin him.
Ooh, I like that.
I
That's my
it
prediction.
too. I like it too. Geek.
everyone's gonna hate me on this one, but I'm gonna go Roman and Solo, and we're gonna get the Usos against Roman and Solo somehow, some way for the tag titles.
Interesting.
Yeah, that
Uh-oh.
is interesting. And the thing is too, it could go that way. You never know.
I thought I was gonna get a lot of hate on that one.
I actually kind of like
So
it.
WWE have put themselves into a corner yet again. Roman Reigns,
Of course they
and we'll
do.
come on, and obviously we'll come on to the World Heavyweight Title Tournament final. As the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight title, whatever title he wants to go under. Roman Reigns, I think we all collectively agree, should not have won at WrestleMania. That should have been it. Then he would have had a clean break going into this tag title feud. But what we've seen with Solo, and we saw it on SmackDown, or you must have seen it, that moment where he clashed into Solo, the world stood still for a microsecond. You just had that. Oh, are they really going to pull the trigger now?
Mm-hmm.
Bearing in mind how
Yeah.
long they pulled the trigger for years, 3 years, they had story beat after story beat after story beat, and they sacrificed Solo's undefeated streak to Sami Zayn. I think the week of WrestleMania, going into that tag title match. But KO and Sami as tag team champions does not excite me at all, and I'll tell you why. They were a makeshift team designed to take down the Bloodline and take down. And yes, they took down the Usos, but let's face it, the Usos are still strong in the Bloodline, regardless of whether they had belts or not. So therefore, beating them at WrestleMania, as much as the spectacle was great, and it should have been the part one of the downfall with Roman losing to Cody, it hasn't actually achieved what it set out to do. So therefore, it's just a meaningless task. Whereas the Usos, being the longest reigning tag titles and all that, being a team that, you know, had so much tag team chemistry to burn and to ooze, it's just baffling. And for the KO and Semi to since WrestleMania to then be having the same promos with the Usos week in, week out, it's like, well, they're both great individual stars. They're both, you know, got incredible careers, but they still pulled the wrong trigger. Sami Zayn, let's not beat around the bush. At one point before, I guess, before, some would argue that Sami Zayn should have won at Elimination Chamber. Some would argue that it should have been Sami versus Cody, and I think that would have been disappointing to some, but still a very exciting match to have watched at WrestleMania and would have changed the course of things. But what we've seen now, it just feels like half a step back. It just doesn't. This, as I said to Aurora earlier, I can't remember the last time I watched SmackDown or Raw and I was enthralled and I was excited by the content I was seeing. And it's just not the same. It's not as white hot that they had with Sami Zayn. So I'll be honest. If KO and Sami win, Solo takes the pin. But I think the pencil will protect Roman, so they're going to give them the belts, or it'll be a schmaltz finish.
Alora.
Okay, so I really think that I think KO and Sami is gonna get this win. They cost the Usos their match against LWO this past week on SmackDown, and being that I was there and they did a double taping, they do have a segment at the end of the show where KO, they're doing the KO show, and Paul Heyman interrupts, and then the Usos come out, say their piece, and then Sammy, I want to say it was Sammy, but I think it was a little bit of both of them. They posed the question to Usos. They're like, yeah, we all know Roman's. Then this stuck with me too. They said, everybody knows Roman says this time and time and time again. I am the head of the table. But we're looking, basically they were saying we're looking at the heart of that table, which was the Usos, because the Usos are that bond that kind of kept everything together regardless, trying that, whether it was thrown in the towel for Jay and the I Quit match or, stuff like that. And basically KO is Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's like, I already know how, I'm already hip to the game. Y'all got to get with it. And KO is basically on the same page too. It's just a matter of getting the Usos. They're trying to tell the Usos, hey, what's in it for y'all? But at the same time, you got Roman. He's like, to me, like this character he has taken over. He's narcissistic. He's got greed with power and success, and basically, and they said this too, Roman's going to be in this segment that Roman's going to be his own downfall because he's letting his ego take over. And I think we're going to see a lot of that in this match. I think the Usos some way, somehow is going to cost Roman and Solo this match. I like the idea that Sammy will be the one to pin Roman. I think that could further escalate things as far as that goes. And then you got to mention with Solo. You already seen the moment Roman knows, like Roman had that look like, I don't want to try Solo. And Solo, Solo's already brothers of brother to the Usos. So you got all that going on. And so it's kind of like they're gonna tug at you, like they're gonna have to make a choice within the bloodline because of the KO and Sami Zayn problem, as they say. And go ahead.
Just coming on that, you said about having Sammy pin Roman in Saudi Arabia. They had that chance in Montreal. They had the one and only chance to do that in Montreal, and they had that with Cody in LA. They had it with Drew in Cardiff. They've had so many opportunities, time after time again.
It's still big here, though. We know Sammy has never gone to Saudi Arabia. We know why.
Oh yeah,
that's irrespective of the what's going on in the ring.
Though. No, but that matters. All of these little things matter in the story. Like we referred to Solo. Solo's only lost to one person, and it wasn't Sammy. He lost to Sammy by DQ because of the Usos. He lost to one person, guys, and who's that one person?
Kevin Owens.
Cody Rhodes.
Oh, Cody? I thought it was Kevin.
And it's Cody. Cody for a reason.
Okay.
Cody lost to Roman only because of who? Solo. It's a story. It literally is going to play out. And everybody was mad, and I was mad too, but it's like, you got to watch. It's going to happen.
Like in the midst of all of this, there's going to be one plot twist that goes, oh, this all makes sense now. And we're all going to be looking at each other like, oh, how dumb were we when all of this was going on. You got
to think about Paul Heyman, too, with his little sneaky self.
I think he's doing something else, too.
Oh, yeah. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
I thought it was interesting that Paul Heyman mentioned Brock Lesnar in his promo on Monday night, and he hasn't mentioned Brock Lesnar in a long time.
You just want to talk about Brock now, don't you?
No.
Brock's getting that title again, isn't he?
We're not getting there. Well, I'm going to get there in a little bit, but
slowly.
We have to remember that just because the person is in their home country, hometown, whatever, doesn't mean that they are the right person to take that title off of whoever it is. Just because Zelina Vega was in Puerto Rico doesn't mean she should have beaten Rhea Ripley.
Oh, we knew that wasn't
Just-
gonna happen.
Just because Sami Zayn was in Montreal doesn't mean that he should have necessarily beaten Roman. Now, I would have believed it if he did beat Roman because Sami Zayn was like this hot commodity at the time. So that it's a little bit different there. You know,
But this-
they
but this
go
is-
to a different place the next day.
I knew, right, exactly. And I knew it wasn't going to happen in Montreal just because 2 nights in Montreal, y'all. And Friday night, like I put it in the group chat, Friday night, they're going to bring back Sammy's old song, Big Pop. Everyone's going to be excited. And that's where we get the big happy yay Sammy moment, the big rah-rah speech. He's not going to win, but it's going to look good on Friday night. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you got to get the fans what they want somewhat. Like,
Now Strav puts up a good point that they're bringing Sami Zayn into Saudi Arabia, which they haven't done before because it's been too dangerous to. There has to be something going on there for them to be able to do that. There has to be. I don't know what it is, but I will say
never
this.
gone there.
If Roman and Solo Sikoa, if they actually win this match, I don't want to hear another word about how Brock takes the title and runs off. I don't want to hear anything about Charlotte Flair just stacking up all the women's titles
come
that
on.
she doesn't want to give and all that kind of stuff. Roman's kind
Where's
of
the
doing
fight
the
me
same
button?
thing. It's
Where's
just
the-
because we like that person. Some people like Roman. That's all it is. So I just want to say, I don't want to hear anything else about Brock.
See, I would argue that Brock doing that brought kind of prestige to the title, because then it made it, it's a big thing when the champ is here.
Yeah.
That's my argument in regards to. I like that.
If Roman and Solo win, it doesn't bother me.
Ro-
People fuss.
Roman's a great champion, but he's not a great champion like Long Island's own MJF.
Oh,
Roman versus MJF 2024 WrestleMania. Do I see myself out now? Do I leave now and just go to bed?
The greatest champion ever, Long Island's own, right there, MJF.
And I'll say this
one day.
about this this match going on right here. It has lost its steam a little bit and its excitedness, and I understand that. But at the same time, we're still sitting here and speculating because it can go in either direction, and we're having a good time trying to figure it
There's
out.
so many layers, so many possibilities.
So I think there's still meat to this bone.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. I think it's interesting that we're getting Roman in London. That intrigues me
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
let's face it, they've spat. I don't think he'll be defending the world titles because I think they've spassed out that one and unless they're going to bring Wade Barrett out for some wild reason, and they're going to have him win it in London.
Timothy says KO and Sammy will retain their title. He thinks Solo will walk out on Roman and leave him in the dust. That is a possibility. Scott brings up something. Too. I don't see a winner, no match, because Usos and Imperium interfere, causing total chaos. I don't know.
I don't think we're at Imperium versus Bloodline just yet. I think
No.
I've always fantasy booked them to have it out at War Games, but I don't think we're there yet.
And Timothy, we had said that a few minutes ago. We figured out it was Cody. Sugar Shane is here with us. Nobody is beating Roman Reigns. The titles will be stripped from him by the Authority because he will be going to Hollywood.
I want you to save that comment for a little bit later. I think that's relevant for somebody else. I think.
I I don't see them stripping the titles from him. Just because when it comes to this number game with Roman,
Wait, shoosh! I need my shoosh.
We need the
I
fight
got
me
you.
Give
button.
me my shoosh.
Where am
I-
there it is.
is
Still
this,
need shoosh.
I don't see it. But go, yeah, y'all go ahead. We can continue on. I don't see them taking them from him.
Can we get to the next point before we spend another 15 minutes on
though.
I will
on one
say
match.
this really quick. Roman's about to do 1,000 days on Saturday. And then June 24th, he will beat Pedro Morales's
Mhm.
number 4 as longest
Yeah.
reigning.
This record.
And then if he makes it to February the 13th, he will beat Bruno Sammartino's second. So he will be like in the second or the third spot
He
by
can't
next
get
year
that
of
far.
WrestleMania.
Let's put that to one side. And
Roman's holding the title until September of next year.
no, it's not.
He's
That-
beating Hogan's reign.
Yeah,
Does
that's
anybody-
what that's.
Imagine if they bring back get
If he-
Hogan to get him to finish it.
If
I
he
don't
stays
want
with-
it to happen, guys, but they want to rewrite history.
if he stays the champion until October the 17th of 2030, he will beat even Bruno Sammartino's number 1.
No.
See,
I'm
They
telling
don't
you,
need to
he's,
do that. I hope they
he's
don't
waiting
do
for
that, but-
MJF.
I don't
He's
think
waiting-
Bruno's, but I think they're
Wait.
going to take
Yeah,
Hogan's
I
from
put-
him.
Yep, I
Uh-huh.
put yeah, he would beat Pedro Morales' record between June 25th and 26th of 2023. And then Hogan's record would be between September 15th and 16th of 2024. That would be on a Wednesday for that. And then
I only know that because it's my birthday, y'all. Like,
oh, well, that was easy to remember.
like when they said it, I was like, for real? Oh yeah, bet. That's easy to remember. Yep. Okay. Cool. But I think they're really trying to rewrite history, and they don't like Hogan like that. Like shit. So
Hogan comes back, beats Roman Reigns. Hogan versus MJF 2024. I think
Yes!
that's the reality I'm here for.
Yeah. No, of course.
yeah.
of course, bro, pop for that.
Imagine the promos.
I could see
Imagine the non-PG promos.
the Roman all the way there, and then since we're doing the 2024 thing, I could see MJF coming and challenging at that time. He's
Anyway,
not going to win, but he would be a challenger.
let's move on before we get round in circles.
We also need the fight me button too on this one somewhere.
Because to be fair, we'll be speculating Heath Slater next.
That's what we do
Heath
on the
Slater. He's the only one in 3MB that needs to win the
Exactly.
title.
Exactly.
Heck
He beats
yeah!
Roman.
Hey, Walsh, I don't know if you've been to the roundtables before, especially like I was saying. If
Sorry.
Saint you're usually on here for about 4 hours, so
Legit. Legit. We've done them.
the most exciting match on the card, Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship.
So, I'm going to jump in here first. The reports this week is that Bianca Belair and the Street Profits are about to turn heel. And although Bianca Belair has held the Raw Women's title on SmackDown for so long and done such a good job with it, and she's been a commanding and incredible champion. I think one that Trish Stratus would be very proud of back in her day. But the thing is with Asuka, she had so much momentum going out of the Royal Rumble and the makeover, and her being taken seriously, that like the Kana bottled levels of Asuka that so many people have been calling out for, the NXT Asuka that we all missed and
Saying
loved
everything I said.
pre 2018. Hello, Charlotte Flair. That was the Asuka we would get, and I'm gonna say it. I think they pull the trigger. I think Asuka wins, but Bianca turns heel.
They could.
Yeah, they were also talking. I was also looking at various posts, and Bianca just passed 400 days as Raw Women's Champion, and that brings up another factor with Trish 447-day reign, with the WWE Women's Championship back in was it 2004 ish? So Bianca's close to beating that, and I think she's the second. Of course, Roman's have his almost 1,000-day reign, and then Bianca's like behind him at 400 plus days, and then Gunther's behind her. So they've been doing long reigns. Common denominator here.
I can't remember the last time they had a major title change, and I think it'll be typical on a show like this to pull it and do
Sammy and Kevin Owens was at WrestleMania, and then Rhea Ripley also at WrestleMania.
it. True. I'll grant you that.
This is the only plausible way that unless they do something funky with Roman and Solo, this is the only possible match that I see a title changing hands, because the other ones are just that by no far stretch of the imagination would I believe that if it happened with like Gunther and Rhea Ripley and stuff. So I don't know. I really like Bianca as a face. I think she does a lot of good like PR stuff, and with the little girls dancing with her at WrestleMania and all of that goodwill and everything that she has built for herself and that she has built for the brand, it's going to be really hard to turn her heel. That's like almost to the point of turning John Cena heel when he was in the peak of doing those Make-A-Wish.
Female Cena.
Yeah,
Legit.
she is.
He turned heel on WrestleMania. Did you not see the look on those kids' faces when Austin Theory beat him? They had him come out on stage and he still lost.
It was sad. It was sad. And my poor little nephew, he was sitting right next to me, and he was upset because John Cena is his favorite. And it's funny because he's only 10 years old. And this was only the second time that he'd seen a John Cena match happen as it was going on. He had only seen older stuff. So yeah, it was a little sad.
I say, you should show him John Cena versus the Great Khali, then show him a match he's really going to struggle with. 5-star classic.
Timothy says Belair's going to retain her title. Well, who does?
And she
everybody
could. She could. It could go either way here. Strav will get to you in just a second. I'll say this. I said earlier about just because they're in their hometown doesn't mean they have to win or whatever. But at the same time, you don't have to make them look like complete imbeciles. And I think when they were in Knoxville a couple weeks ago, they made Bianca Belair look horrible. Like she was like, I know Asuka sprayed the mist on her, but she's usually a tough girl, right? And she was screaming like she was Liv Morgan.
I'll argue that both of them look terrible. This whole thing, it's stupid. It's dumb. I'm sorry. I don't do the negative part, but this is the worst story in wrestling right now.
I agree with that.
Every time Asuka comes out, y'all got to figure out a way to make it look like how Muta or Tajiri, we know, okay, Bianca's in the ring in Knoxville. She's celebrating gay, longest women's champ, whatever. Asuka's coming out the whole time. Usually Asuka's smiling. What's she doing? We know the mist is in your mouth. We know what you're going to do. Last week when she does it, the camera goes completely off of Asuka. She's outside the ring. Bianca runs out, reaches through the ropes, spits at her and misses. Come on, bro. Just stop doing it. Just stop doing it. It's a mockery because these girls are really good in ring, really good storytellers, and you're making them look like imbeciles. It's terrible.
But this is at least we're getting a better version of Asuka than we did pre.
Agreed, because I love the Kana part, but I agree with you when you said they botched it.
Exaggeration, the makeup was all over the place.
Bro, they botched it though. I agree. They had the build up. She was doing the Joker stuff on Instagram. It was going to be if they let her. Because see, like I had the whole thought process with the Bray thing, which they might have had, like that was in the tuck. The scary part, because Kana was scary. She's not a happy-go-lucky. That's a scary character. And it made sense with her and Alexa and Bianca being a team. Alexa lost to Bianca, disappeared. Uncle Howdy, all of the scary stuff was there. Like, it was literally there. But with Bray going away and his whole deal, it might have screwed up creative. So now they're like, what can we do? Let's just throw it together, whatever. I feel like that's lightweight what was happening, because this is what no one's talking about. Alexa's probably going to come back tomorrow or on Saturday. Alexa might show up during this match and cost Asuka the match.
I was actually just looking through Facebook just because, and Alexa Bliss actually just posted a picture of her new ring gear.
I didn't even see. I didn't know anything about that.
I thought you just said Alexa Bliss is posting on Facebook nude, and that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, no, I believed it because, and it was like I said, they say WWE doesn't do long-term storytelling. They do storytelling. It's just that we live in a TikTok, Instagram, Reels reality now, and people's attention span isn't, I guess, as good as mine, or they just don't pay attention. They remember the trio versus Damage Control. I don't feel like that's just gonna go away with the three girls with Bianca, Alexa, and Asuka. There's a reason that Alexa fought. Come on, everybody thought that Rhea Ripley was gonna pick Bianca Belair. It only made sense. They were both on Raw. Yeah. Then she picks Charlotte. It made sense because of the WrestleMania. They didn't get to wrestle in front of people, but no, there's a reason for it, I feel like. So, and I feel like that's probably going to play out in front of us on Saturday. Alexa Bliss costing Asuka the match. Maybe.
Yeah, and you said that they don't do long-term storyline because everybody has like a TikTok attention.
No, people say that they don't. That's what I was saying. People say that. I feel like they do.
But Roman Reigns and the Bloodline story have been happening for over a year, and everybody's like, okay, what's Roman going to do next? You know, what's Sami Zayn going to do? What's Cody Rhodes going to do? And that story has been going on, and it's because it's good. They don't give them the opportunity to. They think that they can't do it. Like the girls or whoever else besides Roman can do it. They haven't given them the opportunity to.
Correct. I agree.
All right.
Yeah,
do we have any comments?
You could tell who has input in their story and who doesn't.
Yep.
Okay, next up. Yay.
She's fine.
Here we go.
You know, I love Brock Lesnar. He's my favorite. He's been on he's been on every pay-per-view this year, just so you know.
No, she did not do that. He's been on every pay-per-view this year for the first time in a long time. We got to give Brock that. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He's been on more pay-per-views than Roman.
Oh,
Just
I'm
one.
gonna keep this
Still.
short and sweet, so that
that's deep.
Marie has all the times, all the times she needs to talk about Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar wins by a forklift.
You said about forfeit, bro?
I say Brock Lesnar is going to run over Cody Rhodes with a forklift, and yeah, that's going to be the end of the match.
No. Why is the Cody hate, man? I can't do this. I cannot. I cannot
He's gonna
deal with the Cody hatred.
Brock's going to finish the story. He's just
Cody
going
go get his ass whooped.
And then
Cody go get his
number-
ass whooped on
Finishing the
Saturday.
story.
number 30 of next year's Royal Rumble is just going to be the dead carcass of
He definitely
Cody
gonna lose
Rhodes
on Saturday. I'll give y'all that.
into the Royal Rumble, and then he's going to be so dead he's going to reverse
We'll
somebody
fight him.
into a crossroads and then win the Royal Rumble.
This ain't gonna be on.
Thank you. Good night. It's been great talking to you.
Alora,
Finish the story with a forklift. It's what Dusty Rhodes would have wanted. It's what he would have wanted.
Brock seems to have Cody's number, but who's to say he could pull off a win here? Kind of like what we were talking about with Mustafa Ali earlier. You know, the heart. You know, we already know the heart and passion Cody has. So I think that could be a big factor should he win. If not, then. But I'm gonna go with Cody on this one. I'm gonna go different route.
All right, Ben. I'm gonna call you when I leave.
all right, this is going to be a surprise, but it depends on what they're planning to do next.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So if they are planning on pushing this further to like a SummerSlam or something and keep it going and keep Cody busy for half the year, you know, then I could see maybe Brock winning. If they're trying to button this up so maybe Brock can go and take his time off or whatever, then I can see Cody winning. So it could go either way. And I would be okay with either way. It just depends on if the story is continuing through the summer or if it's going to end on
I don't
Saturday.
think it will. I think it'll be dumb if they do that. I think, as I pitched earlier, I think Brock needs to do something else with somebody quick. Bearing in mind, he never really finished it with Bobby Lashley, and God forbid we were on the cusp of getting Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt, which would have been astounding. Yeah, he has to do something else.
Hilarious.
I don't think Cody's the answer. I could quite easily argue that Cody Rhodes beats Brock Lesnar and then goes on to win Money in the Bank.
And maybe that's why Roman's going to London. Because Roman's going to take a break. Cody wins Money in the Bank. Roman's out there at the end of the night. Boom. That's a huge pop in London. That's a huge deal in London, and AEW is about to do their first London show. Yeah, guys, it's competition. It's a rush to end the story, but that's an easy way to get WWE as big news in London over anything CM Punk could do there.
You got a point. Yeah.
I am lost for words, and I'm the one that's going to be there live.
There we go. And you're going to get to experience it. Please go live. Please. Because that's, now that you said that, as soon as you said Cody with Money in the Bank, I'm like, because everybody's thinking, no, not Cody for Money in the Bank. Nope. There's a reason Roman's going to be there. And that's it.
But the thing is, though, they had the bottle with Drew. They had everything with Drew, and they bottled it. They had Tyson Fury at ringside, and they bottled it. That was the frustrating bit about Clash of the Castle, was that it was such a good match, and everything was there before Solo Sikoa decided to show his face. And they bottled it.
What did Majestic say? Everybody ain't gonna win, and even though he's not from Cardiff,
but he was the British boy.
Exactly. So everybody ain't supposed to win at home. And that's probably a thing with Roman's thing. Give him a hometown. Give him a hometown match. And watch me destroy them. acknowledge me. Like,
Yeah,
terrible.
let's have Roman versus Cody in Atlanta in July.
No.
Ooh.
Just
No.
saying.
Roman isn't going to wrestle a title match on Monday Night Raw.
No, I know.
Yeah,
He's
correct.
He's
Correct.
waiting
It's
for
Hogan Goldberg all
MJF.
over again.
He's waiting for MJF.
I'm still here. I'm
He's
just
waiting
doing
for
something real
MJF.
quick. I'm still here. I'm just doing something real quick. I'll be back.
Okay. All right, we're gonna wait. We'll have him on, but we'll turn his mic off. Okay, Geek. Well, we need your opinion. Welcome
I'm-
back, by the way.
Yeah, I know my camera is just terrible right now. I don't know what is going on. It's the must be the Wi-Fi down here. You know.
That's okay. Do the best you can.
All right, I'm Baron right now. I'm Baron, but I'm gonna have to say Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. I think Cody Rhodes needs this win right now, so I'm gonna go with Cody Rhodes just because he needs the momentum when he needs to go against Roman Reigns again. So I'm gonna go with Cody on this one.
That's a fair assumption. It could go either way. It just depends on what they want to do.
Or they could just swerve us all, and Brock Lesnar could get that title match against Roman. And they could be holding Cody off for later on.
Brock can't challenge Roman.
What do you mean?
Which is
Yeah,
a
he
great
could.
thing.
The stipulation for their SummerSlam match last year was that if Roman would win, then Brock Lesnar could not challenge for his titles while Roman is champion.
It's WWE. They'll probably forget anyway.
But you know who he could challenge for?
Oh.
He could challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh man, no!
Yes!
Don't put that evil on me now.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh
Let's
no!
go.
I mean,
no!
This is good.
Let's do this.
can we call up the Hollywood comment earlier and bring this into play here? Because
You have to
This-
bring the shoosh comment. Shoosh! No! Don't give him any ideas.
so Styles versus Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight title. That shares the same lineage as the belt that Triple H used to hog around in the Reign of Terror. So everyone would have put their houses on the second Triple H pulled that cloth off to reveal the belt that it was Seth Rollins to lose. Considering he's on Raw, it was a belt designed to stay away from Roman, and yeah, that was going to be his thing.
Here's another scenario.
And well, let's flesh this out for a second, and then I'll let you come to this.
All right, sorry.
And then the reports that Seth is going to Hollywood again. I don't know what to make of this because we have a belt that was designed as a consolation prize because Roman Reigns has the belts. We have two competitors on either side, one from Raw, one from SmackDown, that's meant to stay away from Roman. We have one guy who's meant to be going to Hollywood and will have a part-time schedule. We have one guy who hasn't held a belt, get this, in over 5 years. God, who remembers that feud with Samoa Joe? Like it was TNA back in 2011. And it's for a belt that fundamentally proves why the brand split was just a pointless exercise. Now, we've spoken about whether this could be the end of Roman and whether Roman drops the belts. Now with this belt in play, it's so hard to say what prestige this belt will be given.
It's
Because
going to have the same lineage as before, so they're
This is it.
saying that Randy Orton was the last champion.
This is it. Where's Randy Orton coming back to defend it? Have an undisputed world heavyweight title match.
Randy Orton may not be able to wrestle again.
Passing the torch. He might be coming back. Who knows? But anyway, I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins purely on the basis that Triple H loves Seth Rollins. He did it in 2012. He did it with the He did it for the NXT title. He did it for the Universal title. He's gonna do it for the World Heavyweight title. It's gonna be Seth Rollins, but then he drops it at Money in the Bank. That's my hot prediction.
Go ahead, Laura.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's Seth Rollins to take. And I mean, he had to do a match with Omos for crying out loud. But
Hey, that match wasn't bad.
no,
Wasn't at all.
It wasn't. But
Pretty
still,
decent.
it was actually decent. Yeah, I know, Mina. But yeah, either way though, AJ Styles, Seth Rollins is gonna be a banger. I don't think anybody's gonna argue that point. Just all around because it makes sense. Seth Rollins, I mean, that's got to be a title for somebody to fight for on Raw. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, him and AJ are gonna have a banger, and as far as that goes.
All right, Strav.
Gut says Seth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're playing with us, y'all. Like AJ's on SmackDown. It's a Raw title. As soon as people have known this for a while, we know how movies work. Like, as soon as we get Seth in his freaking tournament, now we get pictures of him in the new Marvel movie. Triple H said, this is a title that will be defended. The champion will be around, and blah, 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 blah. And then you get AJ in an interview this week saying, yes, it's a secondary title. If Roman has the Raw title and the SmackDown title, and they created a title, yes, it's a secondary title, but we're going to make the best of it. I don't know who they're going to give the title to. It's weird. But my gut is going with Seth Rollins. Just to hear the song and him do the title spin, and yeah, I'll say Seth.
My gut says Seth. My heart says AJ.
Right.
I wanna see an AJ title run before he decides to say goodbye.
And make him the inaugural of something.
Yeah, something.
I'll be okay with that.
Well,
I believe that
everybody on this show knows AJ is like right up there as far as goats are concerned. So
yeah, I believe they said on Monday Night Raw in a video package that this will be the first time that AJ and Seth has faced each other in a one-on-one match since they wrestled one time in the Indies. They have not wrestled each other one-on-one in WWE. So that's pretty big.
Yeah.
I could have sworn they wrestled somewhere. I think it might have been Night of Champions. They might have wrestled.
Okay.
Maybe
I was listening wrong. I don't know. I was doing other things at the time.
It was once.
They were showing indie footage during AJ's stuff. I saw that when I was looking at Raw earlier, and I was like, oh, I love stuff like that, because I'm just like, it's just like a full circle moment here. It's like, God, I love wrestling.
I don't think they can go wrong with either one of these guys.
Mm-mm.
I like Seth and I like AJ. I think Seth makes more sense because he's just been a fan favorite for a while now, and everybody likes the song and everything. And they kind of didn't make any deal out of AJ Styles coming back from injury. Like a couple weeks ago when he made his return back, they were like, "Oh, look, it's AJ. Who cares?"
Yeah, and
So-
it was only more of a thing because the OC were with him again, a team that are just like, oh, do you remember that? Do you remember when they were, in the Bullet Club? The thing is with AJ Styles is that they had so many opportunities in the past to be like, oh, this is the AJ Styles of old. This is the AJ Styles from TNA, and they haven't done it. Like,
well,
bearing in
I
mind,
would
Jeremy
even take.
Borash is in WWE, and still AJ Styles had a favorable booking. What a time to be alive!
I would even take 2018 AJ Styles WWE champion over what they've been. I mean,
Oh, Wendy, I want Wendy.
yes, him and Samoa Joe. That was awesome. That was really good. But I don't know. I really don't know what they're going to do here. My gut kind of
I'm gonna
says
go-
Seth, though. I think that's a shoe in.
That's wrong,
I'm
man.
going AJ on this one.
Okay.
I'm going to go AJ, but we all know Brock Lesnar's winning Money in the Bank somewhere, and he's cashing
Yes!
in on one of these guys.
Yes!
He's not winning it again. He is not winning it in London. We are not
Brock
watching
Party.
No.
Fight
Brock.
me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Don't fight me!
It doesn't matter who's winning this match. Brock is going to win Money in the Bank again, piss everybody off in London, and then he's going to become the champion by the end of the night.
Whatever you feel about Brock Lesnar, Brock Party, Brock in the Bank was some funny stuff. Y'all have to admit that.
The Brock box. Brock box.
The Brock box, it was great.
But I feel like they're proving to us right now that Brock doesn't need a title for him to be relevant.
No, he doesn't.
Like they're proving that now. Like he can be entertaining without one. So
I just like
Yeah.
stirring the pot.
no, I know. I'm just.
You just want to give me nightmares tonight. That's what you want to do. You want to ruin my big weekend in London with the thought that Brock Lesnar is going to walk in, win Money in the Bank, and then beat Roman.
That would suck so bad.
I didn't say Roman. I said either AJ or Seth.
Yeah, so some say Seth, some say AJ, but the winners of this match is the fans because it's going
Yeah.
to be a lot of
Or
fun.
Brock
Because we're
Lesnar.
getting a new title.
True.
Or Brock
Yes.
Lesnar. In the future. It
And
doesn't
a
matter.
banger of a match. I mean, come on now.
I don't see Brock actually going after that title. Realistically, he doesn't need to. And I think even his character has even evolved past titles too. Unless they wanted to do something fun, like we talked about, like with Gunther and him challenging for the Intercontinental Championship, that would be like fantastic. But I don't know if they're going to do that or not. A girl can dream. All right, guys. Well, that is that's Night of Champions, and we don't have any more comments. So, Strav, we'll start with you, and we can go around and we can plug our stuff and go home.
Stravy Stones 143. That's the YouTube. STRAVISTONES 143. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, just without the 143. Add me, follow me, subscribe, like, share, comment, do all that good stuff. Ringside with Strav is the wrestling show, and I have a podcast called the Renaissance Man Podcast, which we will actually be doing directly after this. So, yeah, I was double booked today. I just be moving, and I'm okay with that. I like doing these. I want to do more. So yeah, Follow all my people on here, and make sure y'all follow me. Love.
Thank you. Geek, if you want to go ahead and plug your stuff.
Yeah, so I do a podcast called Geeking Out with Metal Geek where we talk about metal music, pop culture stuff, wrestling, obviously. We have wrestlers on there and bands, but you can follow me on YouTube at pretty much anywhere. You just Google Geeking Out with Geek, you'll find it. Or you can follow me on Instagram at Metal Geek at Metal Geek 85.
All right, and Walsh.
I'm the hottest free agent in all of wrestling podcasting. You can find me on the TRWC occasionally when me and Marie can be bothered on a Friday night to be talking about the tailgate party. You
I
can
know,
find
right?
me on Buck Bomb Entertainment, talking bits. But I guess we've got Money in the Bank, so stay tuned for content of that. I'm sure we're doing a lot of previews for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Keep an eye out on Facebook and Twitter at One Walshmeister. You never know when I'll be popping up next. I am technically the Brock Lesnar of old, showing up and just barraging myself into podcasts here, there, and everywhere, and just being the star of the show. Frankly, bang bang, that's what I do.
We love it. And Laura,
you love it. You love it, Marie. You love it. You love being your number one tag team podcasting partner in the world, right? It's.
We do make a great podcast tag team. I can't lie. But my homie girl, though, we can't deny that either. And Alora and I will be back on Thursday evening.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Clark may or may not be appearing, but we are going to switch gears and talk about the other pay-per-view that's happening this weekend, which is AEW Double or Nothing. So stay tuned to the page on Thursday night for that. Anything else?
Not that I know of.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Like always, like, share, subscribe. Go and follow all of these lovely gentlemen that were so kind enough to join us for tonight. And we will see y'all later. Bye. Good night, sweet peach. It's time to go. Good night, sweet